Oh, boys. When the music hits the ears, the blood starts to pump. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of rocking and rolling, and then you hit the music, and like it's showtime, lights, camera, action. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to High Top Sports, and that's how you do it here. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe. You know the show's brought to you by FOCO, as it has been all season long. They reached out to us to work out something bigger. I feel like they got me on a rookie contract right now because the boys, they got some things working. But we love them. They send us some great gear, and they got some great gear, which that's why I love working with them and partnering with them alongside Alma Mater and other great companies as well. But enough of that. It's Champs Corner. Happy Monday. We're 2 weeks. You're still national champions. So pat yourself on the back. You look good today. You look fantastic. We're going to have ourselves a great week. It's got a little cold here over the last couple of days, and for good reason. Right now, it's Portal Week, and I got to tell you, I'm glad that it's peaceful. You see a lot of movement happening around, and Florida is in a place where we can be aggressive. I compared this to last year where it's like baseball. When you go through the All-Star break, you're either a buyer or a seller. And in a way, you're always a buyer, right, in the portal season. But what that means when you're a buyer in baseball is you're on the aggressive end, right? You're in attack mode. We buying, baby. We in the attack mode. We've got all of our eggs in the basket, and we're looking if we can find a golden egg. Little man found some golden eggs this weekend. That's where that came from. But without further ado, baby, let's go ahead and bring in the co-host. It's crazy to say. I think we forget. He's a national champion, guys. 90% of you watch this guy win you a national championship. Put some respect to this man. Even though he has a horrible goat in basketball, put some respect on Stephen Harris, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, hey, your boy, your goat. I wanted to text you because he got absolutely bodied by that boy Anthony Edwards. Michael would never. Michael would never.
Mike has, okay.
Not in his 40th year, Steven.
Mike wheels fell off. He'd be all right.
I love Ant, man. I wish that he needs he doesn't want it, but he is. Put him in. Look, I love that he's at Memphis because it fits, right? I love when guys play for teams like that and bring them up, but it's like you need him in a big market, but he doesn't want it. He doesn't want the spotlight. And to be honest, I don't blame him.
Eventually, he might not have no control over that. You do good enough. One of these big market teams gonna come snatch you. They'll make the trade for you. But yeah, I like the fact that he's in the Minnesota market. Is able to showcase his talent on a high level. He can kind of be selfish a little bit to let people know that he's the man. But they got my Lakers. First game, you know how it is. It's a setup for a storyline. I ain't gonna,
got him.
I ain't gonna put.
They took him out back and spanked him.
I ain't gonna put too much weight on it. Not the first game.
They didn't even let him put any underwear on. They just spanked him.
Nah, it was ugly.
I wanted to text you because you tweeted, you chirped beforehand. You chirped. You said it was on.
Yeah. I immediately, though, I didn't wait to halftime. I immediately walked it back.
Twitter gets you in trouble. Our boy Silk, he found out about that pretty quickly. He took it like what I love though, man. Like this is what people don't realize. Like Silk took it like a champ the next day. Like that's what you got to do.
No,
like,
for sure.
This shit moves so fluently that you've got to be able to take it. But I've learned, myself included, that's why you can't get upset about it. This stuff moves so fast, and you can't be afraid to have an opinion or a voice or a take on the verse of being wrong, right? You can't do that either. So, did you have a good Easter, Bubba? Good
oh, man, fantastic. Yeah, man, fantastic, man. Hung out with the fam, caught a little church service. It was good, man. Came home. Kids wanted to barbecue, so we did that. It was great. They still eating barbecue now.
My pastor said this weekend, man, I loved it. He said, look, everyone thinks Christmas is the big deal, but Easter's the big one. He's like, everyone loves Christmas because it's Jesus' birthday, but he's like, guess what? All of you got birthdays. Ain't none of y'all come back from the dead. Ain't none of y'all risen. I was like, hey, you got a point. He got a point.
Amen to that.
Unless you're Walter Clayton, the Gators, those boys risen. But anyway.
Yeah. And it fell on a good holiday for some folks. You know what I mean? A lot of people.
You were high
celebrating the Most High.
You were high on Jesus. Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. It was a great holiday. Try to watch how the little man check in at church. He was fighting it, but we gotta get in there. Listen, boys, good to see you. Welcome. Be sure to smash the like button. Happy to have you. Let's get into it, man. Mr. Harris, look, he's just not all sunglasses and good looks. He brings a little more to the table. Oh, and cool interviews. From time to time, we're working. And I don't want. I'm going to say it on air because Harris has not heard this. and I'm only flexing my muscles because
Uh-oh.
it could be a big get, and I might have to use Harris to finalize the close. That's the only reason I'm bringing this up. We got our. I think he's okay. Our guy Cam's the man. He's not even gonna hear this because he doesn't support the show. No, he does. He's the one who's hooked up with our sparking spots. He's got connections for whatever reasons in Florida. Brandon Smikes may be coming on the show.
Oh man.
Yeah, have you heard of him?
Man.
You know who Brandon is?
No, who is that guy?
So
Probably
he played
only the greatest middle linebacker to play at University of Florida.
Yeah, so I know you chatted with him a little bit on Saturday. What was funny is I walked up to him and say, I was hey, you know where Brandon Spikes is? You seen him anywhere?
Yeah, no, that was funny.
He's just stupid, just in my face. No, but if we need to, I may need you to pull some strings if he's
it's already done
to get over the edge. But let me see if I can get it first. Let me see if I can pull some muscles. Let me try.
You got
first.
it there. I'm sure he watches
Dad,
the
let
show.
Me get a hit. Let me get a hit. Let me see if I can hit the big leagues. If not,
I'm sure he watches the show, so he probably heard the invitation right now.
He's probably like, all right, I'm tuned in.
Yeah.
Gregory Smith, this thing has been a back and forth. This was the situation that Silk, he tweeted out. Look, now to his point, he didn't say confirmed. He said expected to come back. And
right.
he ran his course and it's ran its course back, and it could run its course back once again based on what you're telling me. I don't know. I'm going to let you tell a story because I don't know how much you want to say or can say. But there is some optimism on a possibility of a return. Talk to us.
Well, it's not set in stone that he's gone. Just I love Gregory Smith.
You coached him, by the way.
This is why in high school, not his junior, senior, but early in his career in high school. Know his family. Great young man. Everybody who watched the show know I've been big on him, and what he can do for us. You know what I mean? So yeah, him entering the portal is not necessarily saying that he's gone, but the man wanted to see his value. He wanted to know his worth. If you guys remember, Greg came in as a quarterback. Well, he played quarterback in high school primarily. Did play safety. So from my understanding in the beginning, Florida took a shot on him, but he took a shot on Florida as well. So it was never all about money for him, because him playing quarterback, his highest value was to go get money playing quarterback. If he wanted to go play quarterback, if he was chasing money, he knew that he could play the position. He wanted to do it at Florida. So he came to Florida on a trial, but on scholarship. So he wasn't
a rookie contract.
Yeah, he wasn't. Rookie contract.
Late rounder,
was not really making no
free
funds.
Agent contract.
Not making no funds like that. And so he came and proved his worth, and now his value is higher. And to make a long story short, his value is higher, and if Florida wants to keep him, not saying they have to go do anything outrageous, but he needed to be compensated, and it's only fair in today's market where people are being compensated according to what they can produce and what they've done on the field. And for a situation like this with Greg, to me, he betted on himself. He could have went to a smaller school. He came to Florida saying, I'm going to come play safety, a position I didn't play the whole time. Well, not the whole time, but my whole career wasn't at safety. I was a quarterback. But he knew what he was able to do. He's been doing it high school, little league. Every team he's been on, he's been one of the better players on every level. So he took that chance on himself. He betted on himself, and he won. He hit big. He came to Florida. He turned heads. We heard Billy speak about him before the spring game. Unfortunately, he didn't play in the spring game, where he probably would have been a starter out there as a red shirt. Well, I think he burnt this year last year. I'm not sure. No, red shirt freshman. Yeah, he stayed this year. With the amount of games you can still play. If it was when I was playing, the red shirt would have been done. But yeah, I believe he earned the right to be compensated for what he can do. And I'm not sure if that's gonna fit what we can give him or whatnot, but it's not closed. It's not like he's saying, oh, I'm done with Florida. Right nowadays, entering, and people on media, they're not gonna say when you enter the transfer portal is like just entering free agency, and the team still has like the chance to get you, because people just do it to know their value. Almost like Damian George. Damian George put his name in, wanted to see what he was worth, ended up coming back to Florida. I don't know if Florida going to pull the trigger, but it's not done. It's not like
Did Damian
he's
hold on
saying
real
forget
quick?
Florida.
Because Gregory signed the paperwork to officially. Did Damian ever sign the paperwork? I can't remember if he did
That's
or
the
not.
only way you can get your evaluation. You have to enter
So
the
he did
portal
sign it. So he
in
officially
order for
okay.
teams to pitch and for you to see what your value is. If you don't do that, then it's almost the team that has you has the first rights.
You have no
And so they're
leverage
offering
essentially.
you, and you don't really know what it is, because then the tampering thing comes up if you actually figure out what somebody wants to pay you. So you have to go into the portal. Basically, if you don't feel what they're coming to you with is justifiable, the only way you
Sure.
can see is to enter the
To
portal. So
solidify what you think you're worth is to do that.
yeah.
3 things.
Mhm.
I want to talk about reunions. I want to talk about front office. I'm telling you this to remind me, Steven. And then this last comment, which is perfect, and we'll go over this first since it's in front of a Shaka Ganyard. I think I said it correctly. $2. My man, thank you for the $2. Fact, we've only lost Greg Smith says a lot about Billy Napier. And I've kind of alluded to this, and I said this at the beginning of the show, that we're not having to deal with a lot of drama is massive. I think these guys have done a phenomenal job
It is.
managing the NIL, managing the situation, recruiting at a proper way to make sure you're building the correct culture. In this world where you're seeing this madness, it's not easy. And a huge shout out to them. Number one was reunions. Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, to that point, they are doing a great job and stuff like this. I don't want people get all up in arms about the business of the game. Excuse me, because it is a business right now, and things like this are gonna come up. You're not gonna be able to make everybody happy, and that don't mean everybody's against us or don't want to be a part of what's going on and stuff like that. So for the great work they've done and getting everybody back, this is I would love to have Greg, but if people have decisions to make, but that doesn't say that Florida not doing their job or whatever. Florida has done a great job, like you said, with only having one, two, maybe had 3 all of.
Look, and the Gregory Smith thing,
end of last year,
like how you kind of just alluded to, we got him on a great deal because he took a chance on us. We took a chance on him. So they built a good relationship. He felt like he did his part. This leads me to number 2, which is front office. And what I mean by that is we know of the people that came in the front office for Florida Gators. The GM, the guy from Atlanta, all these guys were put into place to manage the budget, to recruit, to evaluate, to see what people are worth. So there's 2 parts to this because Gregory Smith came in without those guys. And it's not necessarily his fault or anybody's fault, but there's a little bit of a change of who's running the finances, right? So me and Stephen Harris had the credit card beforehand, and we're like, yeah, that works out. Then the wives took our credit cards, like, hey, you can't do that anymore. Like, well, why not? Like, well, we're in the red, sweetie, so you got to stop. Like, okay. So that's kind of how that works. So there's 2 parts to this, which people are going to get burned. And once I feel like in a way they kind of handled the transition pretty well. A great example to that we talked about on this morning's show, Monday Mashup, with David Stone from Oklahoma. Same thing. They bring in a new front office guy. They felt that he didn't perform to what he felt he was worth. They wanted to take away what he was being initially paid. That's a problem on the big side of things. So there's all this going on. The third thing is the reunion, which we see Micah Hudson. He returned back to Texas Tech. He put his name officially in the portal. David Stone is another one that obviously put his name, but now he's returning back. So it's not unheard of. And I hope we find some clarity to it. I think we will. I think it's getting cleaner in its own way. I think that it's in a weird way, it's working itself out organically, which sucks because when you work things out organically, it's just like if you were starting something new, right? You don't know. So when you don't know, you're going to lose more money. You're going to burn more things. Here's some advice, guys. If you're starting a new business or starting something, don't be an egotistical hard ass and think that you're going to just do it on your own. There's somebody that's probably sitting next to you that's done it. Now, if that person wants to be an a-hole and doesn't want to help you, they're an a-hole. People come to me and ask me all the time. I am a open book. I don't know more. I don't think that I know more, but I've been to places that you may have not gone, and I can help give you advice. People are like, hey, what can I do for a podcast? I will give you everything that I know. Because it's like, oh, well, I don't give my secrets. There is no secret. Just be you. People fall in love with you. If you're going to do a great job, they're going to fall in love with you. There isn't anything. I don't have a secret sauce to this thing. I've been blessed that people like the eyebrows. I think that's what it is. And if you can't grow these things, that you can't just teach.
Either got them or you don't.
That's just is what it is. So that's the part of it, is that don't be afraid if you're starting something to ask questions. So I think that that's part of the process as well too. But look, where this is coming from, I don't know if you want to talk about who it's coming from, but it's the most credible source you could
Oh,
possibly get it from.
yeah, no, yeah, I spoke with Pops.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right. I didn't know if you wanted to say
I
it or
spoke with
not.
Pops. Then I know the family, and I'm invested in this man's future. I want to see him go and succeed. He played with my son. I was there with him. I know him. He's a great young man. I know the type of leader he is. And so I want to see him do his thing. And I love Florida dearly. And so this is like the first time for me where someone that I know, like, that I've been invested in comes there. Tony Livingston, another example. Another guy that took the long road and now it's starting to pay dividends for him. But I believe just Greg is just getting off to a faster start, and they had to address that early. Livingston's situation was able to go down the road a little bit due to injuries and stuff, but now he's making a name for himself within the program. So whenever you're close to the kids and you love the program dearly, it always sucks. So I want the best for him. I want the best for Florida at the same time. So it's like I got to find out what's going on, man. Because you get people coming online. I see people saying, "Oh, he turned down 750,000 and all kind of crazy numbers," and they don't really know what they be talking about because they're not really sitting in these rooms. And then they paint the kids to look like a certain way. And I get it on being on the opposite end when it's not my fan base. And I see numbers and we laugh and we say, "Oh, this person, this and that person." This is just a situation that I'm very close to. And so I can't
Look, I
sit
think
and just watch and let people just, tear him
trash
down
somebody.
or
Yeah.
tear my school down when it's not the situation. So
I think clarity is nice in these situations too. We don't get enough of it. And again, I don't think that anybody is wrong in this situation. I
yeah,
think you've kind of have, just like I said, you've got new front office coming in. You've got just a little bit of change happening. Gregory Smith feels like he did his part. It's a lot of moving pieces. And I think just clarity of it all is good. And
yeah,
look, it may not
it
be a
is.
fit. It may, at the end of the day, may not be a fit. You also changed coaches, right? There's a
Right.
factor there too,
A
which,
lot of stuff. Yeah.
yeah, look, this is why I think the portal is good, because now Gregory Smith has an opportunity. Like, hey, I kind of got the bad end of the stick of this. Like, I came into this, I took a chance. You changed this coach who believed in me. This guy doesn't like my size or my fit to the scheme as much now, so he doesn't see my value like he did. There's so many moving pieces to it, so I think this isn't to really necessarily drag anybody, but simply
Yeah.
bring a new look to it. Shout out to our guy Connor Clark. I think if it's the real Connor Clark, there's not a Hollywood between it, which is upsetting. He should make sure he identifies himself properly. Connor Clark, you guys all know him. He's been on the show. Was the first guy, I would say the first dude to come on this show when we were just two nobodies chit chatting. Connor Clark worked for Sports Illustrated. I always like to. You got to remember where you came from to appreciate where you're at.
Shout out to
And
Connor.
shout out to Connor. Florida's done a fantastic job of building and sustaining culture in an era where that's extremely hard. And it's fun because we cheer for the logo, but you always want to find something more to cheer for. And we're able to. I feel like they are doing that good job to where you're building a culture. You're feeling it. Like the fact that we go meet these guys and sign autographs. Like, we're more bought into the players than when you played, Steven. You know what I mean? Like at a much deeper level because of social media,
Yeah.
because of the NIL, because of the Florida Victorious, because of how much you're able to interact with them more than ever before. So it is great stuff, man.
Yeah. Now you definitely feel more
It's him.
connected to the players than ever.
He needs to change his name so we know who he is. He didn't even need walking around in incognito like that. I think that's extremely disrespectful.
You called him.
Good stuff, man. Thank you for that insight on Gregory Smith. Here's the other thing, boys and girls. So Keith came on the show Wednesday. Keith, I keep saying his name correctly. I think it's Niebeer. Somebody call me out in the comment section. It's not Niebeer. It's Niebeer.
It's not Niebeer. Niebeer.
See,
Niebeer.
It wasn't just me. He's never corrected me. We damn near we hang out every
I've
week.
only heard you say it, so I said how you said it. So yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Keith,
So
get him, Keith.
We had Keith from 3 on. He talked about possible portal targets, and linebacker was one of them. And it made sense when we talked about it. I was like, yeah. And people in the comments like, what? We don't need linebackers. And when you looked at it comparably, like, yes, the quality is exceptional, the talent through the roof. But like Keith said, they rotate a lot. We had Derek Wingo playing a lot. We had Jaden Robinson. We had R.J. Moten, right? You had Shamar James. Those are three guys are gone.
Yeah.
right? So those are 3 linebackers that played effective time. And then you had Aaron Childs, Pup Howard, Miles Graham, Jaden. Those guys still played, right? RJ Shamar and Derek Wingo, excuse me, are the 3 that are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else outside of Ty Jackson, who also committed, and the 3-star linebacker from Alabama, but I think he's coming off an injury. Although there's not that much of a full replacement. So in a sense, you should go get one more if you're looking at how they rotated everybody, because everybody played. Even if you would argue that Aaron Childs and Miles Graham are the best 2 guys and Jaden Robinson are 1-2, that's fine. Derek Wingo, loved Derek, but he was nowhere near the top of that depth chart, but saw a lot of time because of how much they rotate guys. That's just the way that Florida plays, and it paid dividends because they looked in the fourth quarter. It looked like they just started a football game, and they were able to provide that. So, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
And well, you saw some of that during the spring game. Some of those big runs and stuff like that. So we need that depth. We have bodies, but you need to go get some people that can fill the position. I know, not no shot to anybody. I know they say we got some walk-ons and all this other stuff. We need some guys that are proven, that can get right into the rotation and come ball for us. So I think that's a good look for us. Hopefully he sees what we have to offer. We have probably one of the greatest linebacker cores in the nation right now, and we have great linebacker coaches. So for a guy like him, I think he'll fit perfect for us if we can get him. If not, I think we'll still be looking.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is Andrew Simpson here,
soon.
the number 1 linebacker in the portal, and Florida has been in conversation. That's as far as we know about it as of now from Boise, and we know what Boise, they made a run. And look, their coach came out and was very adamant that they weren't going to be able to make the run again because the amount of money that was being thrown towards this team after their run last year, he's like, it's going to be impossible to keep. He was complaining about the NIL. Look, I get it. You're going to lose a lot of these players, but look, his transfer portal ranking, 13th nationally, number 1 linebacker, 94.51, going into his redshirt senior year. This guy's looking to make a big splash wherever he goes. So, look, does Florida make a run here? I mean, he's going to ask for a hefty cheddar.
Yeah, because not even that. It's your redshirt senior year. You want to go where you're going to be that guy. You want to go out there and be Ray Lewis and out there. So we'll see what we can do. But I'm sure he wants to go somewhere where he's going to be that. He's the number 1 linebacker in the portal right now.
Look,
you want
I
to
love
go
the
somewhere where you're going to have 100 tackles.
Yeah, let's see. Like, where's his head at? Is it all a bag? Is it all about making your value as best as possible?
You make that championship
King Malik's
run,
already
though.
out. He said we're not getting bro. I don't think we're getting him either. But I like the fact we're in a buying position. So it excites the fact that we're even at least reaching out and doing our due diligence as Florida to go after and say, hey, we feel confident enough that we can make an offer that's reasonable enough for you to even. Now, listen, he's probably getting 1.5, 2.5. I mean, the number 1 linebacker is huge. I don't know what the value is in the portal right now for linebackers. I know for edge, you say 5?
No, I said the vibes. The vibes got to be high because we got to be selling a little bit of championship.
Correct. You're selling a future paycheck. That would be my argument for him. Is like, hey, let's say your market's 3.5. Well, we'll give you 2.7, right? With the fact that 90% of your games are going to be on primetime television. Everyone's going to know who checks notes Andrew Simpson is by the end of the season.
Sure.
And think about, look, hey, Shamar James missing out had the most standout year. Carries a logo, goes out, does great things in the portal. Florida pumps in. Ventrell Miller has a great year last year at Jaguars. We've got a track record of pushing linebackers into the NFL and having success. Like, there's a bigger pitch there. You got to take into consideration, hey, this linebacker room with Pup Howard, Aaron Childs, Miles Graham, how do you fit into that? Jaden Robinson, we always forget about that. How does he fit into that as well, too? Yeah. So there's a lot of moving pieces. Again, this is one of those, like, we kind of circle it, but you feel good. You feel good where Florida's at. It'll be funny to see where it comes down. And if they land a visit, then it gets serious. If they're able to schedule something, that's where I go, all right, here we go. We'll definitely have to talk about that at where to happen. But small
I tell you what,
so far.
I'm not conspiracy theories. He got the colors. He's familiar with the colors, bringing that same energy and excitement. You know what I mean? Won't be a culture shock. Y'all got the little, is that like an orange and blue going on over there? You know what I mean? Bring it on over to the Gators. But you never know with some of these guys. Some kids, they don't go to the school they've always dreamed of as a kid. You never know. This kid could be a diehard Florida Gator and finally getting a chance to say, you know what, I can graduate as a Gator. So to some people, that means more than anything. And so, you know, I like when those situations hit where you got a top quality recruit that may hit the portal, but he always wanted to be a Gator. He just ended up at a small school and showed out. Now he gets that shot. I like that.
Absolutely. Connor Clark's chirping. He's talking. I got to get to him in just a minute. But people in here like, we don't pay. We don't do these things. Guys, you can't, you can't keep saying that. The roster that was retained debunks everything. You can't say that anymore.
Can I say something?
You think DJ Lagway's just playing out of the good of his heart? I mean, yeah, there's a part of it that he is. Do you think Jake Slaughter, All-American, Austin Barber, Damian George, Najee Harris, Caleb Banks, okay, are all playing out of the goodness of their heart? Dallas Wilson, a.k.a. The Freak, Vernell Brown, Eugene Wilson, who was tampered, who you've said on the show, are all just playing for a charity case? Like, you can't say that we don't pay. I would say that the financial situation is in a healthier place than it's ever been. When teams are getting plucked left and right, Florida, who looked at one point wobbly going into last year where guys wouldn't even commit because they didn't know if Billy was going to be there, you flip that around, ultimately finish with a top 7 class and able to retain everybody you recruited. You can't keep waving this flag of Florida doesn't pay. And then they go in basketball. They land one of the top guards in the country, favored only another. Stop it. Let it go. It was cool 6 months ago. It's not cool anymore. I'm for burning down the bridge if it's not there, if it ain't working.
Get them stuff.
It's not there anymore. You can't say that anymore. You have there's multiple lists that have come out. DJ Lagway is the number 1 quarterback in the SEC, according to a ton of people. That carries weight. That is money. So stop saying they ain't paying. Stop it. 98% of the roster is locked up. I'm starting. Listen,
no, listen.
I'm critical. Look, I'm a Disney Gator. I get it, but I've also been critical on this show. I have worn my hat and I have been pissed with you just as much as possible. I have rode this train with you. They have done everything right thus far. You can't argue that anymore. You can't.
Yeah, no, that's a dead argument. But even to that point, like, we gotta stop as fans trying to talk about money so much, man. Y'all, the talk of money is what's polluting the pool, because people are throwing numbers out there that are ridiculous, and y'all are making that like the persona of the team or the what people believe about the team. And if you get that number too high, and nobody's gonna be able to do it. You're gonna have guys coming in asking for things that are impossible because we're throwing out stuff that don't even make no sense. And you gonna wonder why you can't get guys, because you guys keep throwing out stupid numbers and saying what this person is getting and pocket watching. We gotta let these guys handle their business, man. And we take care of ours as being fans. We don't know what these people are making. Nobody has showed me one screenshot of a contract or anything saying what somebody's making for us to be out here making these assertions. But it is the fans gonna do what they do, but sometimes you can do more harm than help.
We almost kind of want to circle the W's more than the losses, but how many times? I mean, think about the kid from Texas, the wide receiver that everybody wanted. Billy pushes away, commits to Washington. He's back in the portal. Micah Hutz is running around all over the place. He's transferred from here to there. There's only, I mean, you've got less success stories. I mean, the only time that I can think of right now, and I'm sure there's others that you guys will remind me of, but I think more NFL, where the Giants should have paid Saquon. That obviously worked out for the Eagles. But then you got the Cowboys who paid Zeke. That bit him in the ass. It's not. Sometimes just spending the money isn't always the move, you know. But look, I think Florida's in a good place, and I don't think they don't have to go spend. That's the luxury that Florida has. They don't need to go and spend over the threshold for this linebacker, because look, I can give you what we feel is a fair amount, but I'm selling you more, and I'm not selling you a pipe. I'm not selling you a pipe dream. This is short income. An extra $500,000 or $750,000 isn't going to make or break you. The next stage is. That has to be the conversation. That needs to be where this kid's head at. I'm not saying Florida is the best option. I know he's got offers from, let's see, USC, which would be a complete waste. North Carolina, Syracuse. I love Fran Brown, so I got nothing to say negative about Fran Brown. I think he would do well. UCLA, they're a defensive heavy school. Nico's in shambles out there. I wouldn't mind that. Virginia Tech, get out of my face. Penn State. Linebackers, edge rushers have success. I could see where Penn State has an argument. I'm cool with those. Arkansas, you're wasting your time. Stanford, now I'm a
You
comedian. I
might
didn't
have hit on
realize
the
that.
head with the Penn State.
Yeah, I think Penn State is more of a Texas A&M. Texas A&M has Jay Bateman there. Jay Bateman recruited a lot of our great linebackers. He's the defensive
Yeah,
coordinator there. Like these things make sense to me of like, okay, there's financial and growth. That's where this kid needs to make his decision.
facts.
Connor Clark even agrees as well. And look, if Connor Clark's on the same page, we're on the right zone here. Real quick, couple super
We
chats. T
rolling,
Dub
huh?
says, "I'm here, fellas. Let's go Gators. Stay hot." $2 from T
T-Dub.
Dub, my man. Then he says, "How was Easter, LOA Gator guys and gals? Stay hot. Easter was great, man." But Connor says, look, he says he's wants to come back anytime he's invited. Connor, you have a permanent spot. You've got like not a statue. I don't know if we're building statues yet, but you've always got to be fair, Connor.
Ooh,
I
we
did
gonna
ask
make
you
them
to
a-
come on and talk ball because you're a big basketball guy in the middle of
Ooh,
our.
never
Now he was
mind.
busy. I'm not hating on him, but Connor,
I got an idea, show. Just remind me to tell you.
I love it. Connor Clark, you tell me when you're ready, Bubba. I love Connor. Connor, even though he's out of the game, he's always in the game. That makes sense. Firm handshake, $20. NIL has taken away loyalty in a lot of kids and the hype of going to top 10 academic school. Not hating on the NIL, but rules need to be applied to at least create some kind of loyalty, in my opinion. I agree with you to an extent, firm handshake, and thank you for the 20 bones. That's a massive dono, man. I also feel like it's created a divide where you've got the chasers, but you've also created a more fine line of loyalty where some of these guys have stayed and turned down money. Like there's more of like a respect and an appreciation for those guys. And the
Higher
same
value
thing
for the ones. Yeah.
that stuck around. And the ones that flip, there's like a more divided hatred. Like the ETN situation. Like it's creating, in a weird way, we say it's ruining the passion, it's ruining these things. No, it's just
passion.
It's creating a different, an angrier, more passionate. Like now, people are getting their feelings hurt.
It's evolving.
It is. It's like anything in life, man. It's growing. We're like a flower. We got some weeds. We got to trim those off from time to time, but eventually we'll be a nice hibiscus. And then when it gets summer cold, it gets. Listen, I'm a gardener now. You guys haven't seen the front yard because you guys aren't invited over. But it's like I'm like a little flower guy now. It's weird. When you get older, you get the weird shit. I don't know how that
Bro,
is.
I
Is
just
it weird?
started
You
a
too,
garden.
Steve? You did.
I just started a garden 3 weeks ago, bro.
We're getting old, Steve.
Why'd you mention it?
But you're about to collect Social Security. I shouldn't be caught up to you just yet. I mean,
I already do get social. I
gotta be careful, man. Desmond says I gotta quit taking jabs at you because you got some ammo on me this past weekend. I gotta be careful.
I ain't gonna let it out. I'm either gonna be
That's
like
what makes him dangerous.
Tony Busby or Whack 100 in about 10 years. Don't worry.
He's like, I'll wait till the E60 drops.
I almost called you Shannon Sharp, boy. There's too much going on in my head.
Whoa.
No, that's
Whoa.
not. No, yeah,
He
I
gets
said
hit
Tony
with a lawsuit?
Busby, Whack 100. Yeah, look, I got you. Don't worry. I'm gonna keep it in the back pocket.
All right.
It's nothing on that level, guys, for sure. Just don't even.
I'm dead. This is the last time
you
guys
look,
see
right?
me.
Clip it. Look, no, listen.
This is Steven
On
Sports.
that level, though, of fans, though, like, what's the most exciting part for me about the NIL? You still have people that are genuine Gator fans. Like this whole class of like Vernell Brown, and we got about another 2 or 3 year window of people who were around during the time where we won. Vernell's son was born like around that time of winning with the Gators and basketball and football. And so there's a group of kids that are born that are diehard Gator fans. Like no matter what, they're diehard. And so when they get to Florida, if they ball out and they do what they need to do in high school, that level of commitment for them is going to be still higher, and they're going to still be encouraging their teammates more to stay. You know what I mean? So they're going to be depositing those seeds harder than they ever had to do because of how volatile it is and people leaving and stuff like that. So they're going to be held to a higher standard within Gator Nation eyes, a kid like Vernell, and the pressure he's going to be putting on his teammates to stay. The advocacy for the program is going to be high. So I like it. You know, some guys stay at Florida because they had to stay. When I was there, we had guys that left. You couldn't leave and go play right away. You know what I mean? But guys, everybody didn't stay. It wasn't always staying. Now you can make that decision faster. But the ones that that love the Gators, that grow up saying I'm gonna be there. They're gonna be our biggest advocates. And
Growing the
I think
brand.
this time window and time frame that we have right now
Gotta
is big. I believe
gotta
like even
execute.
the DJ being a quarterback, he's watched us during that time frame. He's seen us playing, you know what I mean? And so that passion and seeing Tebow and stuff in those windows is gonna trickle
Honestly,
over.
I think these recruits, they like hey, which team has the coolest podcast? And I feel like that's part of. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean that ways too, because Miami,
No.
you
I'm
know,
just
they
kidding. I'm just
trash,
kidding. I'm just
Florida
kidding.
State
Don't do that.
trash.
Don't. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's the best in the state of Florida.
No. I'm just kidding. Anthony says
No, they
Oregon ain't saying, oh, don't pay players, cut it out. The teams that spin the best and the wisest and recruit in the top three work being the titles. Look, there is truth to that, 1,000%. I don't know if there's a perfect number or perfect algorithm to that.
nah,
I think that you need to spend the right amount to get to the dance. That to me is the key factor, and then let it go
gotta know
from
your
there.
team.
Because look, I think baseball is a big component to this, where you got a lot of players, a lot of factor. Basketball's tough because it's so small. There's a small margin. 2 or 3 guys can really take over a game. Football and baseball, there's a lot of moving pieces to it, a lot of different factors, right, that play a part to that. The Dodgers are a great example. Now, they just won the World Series, but these guys have been the biggest spenders for the last decade and have not won as many as they should. And the Braves, my team, have not spent the most and have been successful. So there is a sweet spot if you can find it. Now, I think sometimes spending the most money allows for you to overcome shortcomings. But the other part of it too, where everyone's like trying to yell like, "Hey, we got to spend more money." Guys, this isn't just falling out of trees. This is a business. You have to invest.
Right.
And if you're not getting a return on your investment, you're not going to just keep throwing money at it. And I also try to explain to you that Florida, although we want to think that we're in this big budget pool of money, we are, but there's levels to it too. That's like Ohio State is. I genuinely, Ohio State, Texas, and those guys function at a much bigger level. And I'm not claiming poverty for Florida University here, but there's a gross level of it that other teams. And look, I think you have to keep in mind having success in all those other sports is a factor of it too. And people might not like that answer, but facts are facts.
At the same time, you spoke to a bigger point. You not only spending money is okay, but we need to make sure we're doing the best job evaluating the talent that we have and the talent that's coming in. Just because this board says he's the top 1 player or number 1 linebacker, well, does he fit your scheme? Does he fit what you're trying to do? Does he know how to read plays, or did he just do his own thing to get all these stats that make it look like you're the top player? Not saying that he didn't, but if you miss on those evaluations, then you're wasting money, and then you're setting your team back. And at that position, you can't afford to spend a whole bunch of money and waste it. So we have to make sure we're evaluating top tier, because there may be a guy that's in your. It just reminds me when I was in Denver in the NFL. Denver at the time was a horrible program. The front office was trash. The GM was just filling gaps with names just because, like, the defensive line needed to be refreshed. So that year we went to the league. They drafted Jarvis in the first. They drafted Tim Crowder, another DN, in the second. They took Marcus Thomas. They took me. They brought in a free agent, Jimmy Kennedy. They brought in Big Sam Adams. But they brought in names just to plug the hole to make the fans happy. Sam Adams came in on a $5 million deal for 1 year, had 3 tackles in 10 games. But his name was Sam Adams. The fans were like, "Oh, we got Sam Adams. We're going to be great." Sam was done at that time. So you can't just do stuff to patch it or feel like, okay, we need this position. Let me get this biggest name and think that that's going to solve the problem. We need players that can play. I don't care how big the name is. So we have to make sure we're evaluating the talent and getting the most out of the people that we have.
So look, King, we ain't a rich program. I'm not claiming poverty. There's still levels to this. Like, again, I think there's a big factor too of where the money is going. Right, that's a big factor as well, and how much of it is going to certain programs. Look, I think we're spending the money very, very well. I mean, you can go and throw a ton of it out there, but
for sure.
You need the return.
Sure.
I think some schools.
Yeah, so
look, the money's always going to be there, right? But you want to make sure it's being spent properly. What I mean by that is, look at Florida State, for example. When they were winning, the money started coming in. They had a great recruiting class. They had an arsenal to go into. I'd assume so, into the next portal. They missed the playoffs. They get obliterated by Georgia. There's a little bit of shambles. You kind of lose a selling power a little bit, but they're still able to go and get DJ Ugalali and a couple. They are able to still get big names in the portal, but then those plugins don't fit, right? Well, here's the thing. Nobody likes to lose, so money's still being funneled in to fix the problem. But if that doesn't get fixed, then there's going to be money funneled in to get your butt out of there so they can get somebody. So money's always going to be coming in, but it's going to have the ebbs and flows based on what the success is. And then here's what's going to happen. Here's why I know this. I have this business. I work in a business very close to the upper echelon, so I understand what needs to happen and cuts and whatnot. You do really good, and I'm living in this world right now. When you do really good, well, then they go, okay, well, we can pinch a penny. Because now they want to try to get as much back of the return as possible.
For sure.
So everyone just think, like, again, not everybody functions like the Yankees and the Dodgers. That's not real life.
Limited bag.
Yeah, and I'm arguing with, I feel like nothing here. It's like, again, Florida has plenty of money. That's why they won a basketball national championship. That's why they're competing for a golf SEC championship. That's why they're competing for a gymnastics, or I don't know, it was this past weekend. I
got plenty of money.
It goes everywhere. It goes everywhere. We've talked too much about this. It was a good conversation. Let's move along. We're going to stay on the topic of money, though. So don't worry. We're going to talk about how poor Florida is once again. Aberdeen pulls an ATN and goes to the equivalent of Georgia, but in basketball. Yeah. And so we asked the question, why, right? We all think it's money. And I've got a little tidbit here. Shout out to two great content creators in all kinds of weather in Florida Basketball Hour, who's hosted by our guy Eric Fawcett, who's been was an absolute treat during the basketball season to come on this show. A little bit of, hey, not so fast, my friend, but in a very fun, respectful way. So in all kinds of weather tweets out. From what I'm hearing, Kentucky nearly tripled the Florida NIL offer for Florida Denzel Aberdeen. And it's not that Florida is broke. Wow, I didn't even know he said this part. Florida has absolutely had the money to pay him. They simply chose not to. This is the world we live in. Kind of what I just said. Like, just because somebody asks for it doesn't mean you pay for them. Florida Basketball Hour, a.k.a. it's Neil Blackman and Keith Fawcett, says, not accurate. Florida made a strong and 7-figure offer. 7-figure, that's a milli, right? If I'm doing my math correctly, right? That's a milli. That's over a milli. Who played the bench last year? A milli. 7's, right, Steve? We're not good at math here. We're not good at a lot of things, but okay, 7, okay. To keep Aberdeen.
I just went mute thinking about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Florida's offer was, big word here. I don't know what he says. I'm not going to read it. That's what he says. I think says reasonable with Aberdeen's returning production. Hell of a word, guys. You got to keep it simple, boys, for the ones in the back. Florida offers a reasonable deal with Aberdeen returning production, 7.5 points per game, excellent defense, and his valued leadership. After Kentucky taxes, Cats didn't come close to doubling Florida. So let's say we offered 1, they maybe offered 2, but after taxes, maybe it comes down to 1.25, maybe 1.5. If I remember correctly, Aberdeen was recruited by Mike White. Could it have been more of like a cultural? I don't know. I felt like he was loved. He was appreciated. But again, I think the one thing that all kinds of weather kind of hit home to, maybe it was a little bit of a sell on the number aspect. It was more money, but not enough, I would say, to, if you truly cared about playing for a championship and your long-term goal, what's in the reality thing, if it is over $500,000, like I say that as if it's not a lot of money. In this conversation, I don't feel like it's not that extra $500,000 is not life-changing. I know that sounds crazy to say, but we're talking pennies to go for what Planet Florida, I believe, and the success they had last year could do. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, for me, anything north of 60% is good for me. Not solely based on the number. Now, Kentucky is a highly sought after program for basketball. So it's not like he's taking a move down.
Fair enough.
To us, he's taking a move down, but it's Kentucky. They're known for basketball. He's going to get great coaching still, and he's going to have a chance making it to the league. I think more than that, for this move, for me, if I was in his position, it have to be over the $500,000 mark, and there got to be some guarantees with the plan to, like, do Kentucky believe that I'm going to be their star? Sure. They like what I did. They feel like, in this system, at my position, I'm a little capped in what I can do. and that's okay. We won a championship, but I want to go and show these people that you can put the ball in my hands, and I can be what everybody else believed everybody else was on the team. I could be that star. I could be that go-to guy. And if Kentucky believes that and believes in him like that, Florida right now, we just won a championship. Yes, we can go back to back, but we have to start trying to build to sustain. We can't have a 2-3 year fall off. So if next year is not the year we go again, we need to be able to jump right back in it. Kentucky is looking to go now. You know what I mean? So if I can go there and be that guy for them, they believe that they're gonna unlock me. They saying I could shoot the ball 10 times more per game, then that gives him an extra value, and you're doing it at Kentucky. I can see him coming down the court being that go-to guy. Now I don't know all the ins and outs of his game, but he looked like he had some of that in him. And so if Kentucky's gonna allow him to do that, then I can see it happening.
I think you make a point too. Like, it's not like he's going from Florida to anywhere else. I mean, he's still staying in the SEC. The Kentucky made a healthy run last year. They played some great ball. They didn't seem to miss a beat after Calipari left. So great point. It's not like he's taking necessarily. I mean, Kentucky is essentially a blue blood when it comes to basketball. And look, you get a little more money, and like you said, more guarantees to play. So it's just it is the world that we live in. It doesn't seem it.
It sucks.
We're gonna keep talking about it. I think it's never gonna really become. Maybe it comes normal. I don't know. I feel like, look, for me, the NBA is a prime example of what not to do. And what we're seeing is very NBA-esque, where you're just seeing just kind of the superstars just kind of jump around and be passed around, and you're losing the lust of it. I know you like watching your fake lamb, not goat, lose basketball games, but look, the NBA is. I mean, I'm not making the views are the worst ever, and it's because there's no loyalty. You don't know who you're cheering for anymore. I mean, you turn the TV on, you got guys flipping new teams every 6 months. It's like, what are we doing? I mean, I've had Blockbuster rentals longer than you've been on a basketball team. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And what getting is Xavier Lee though, he has to figure out how does that play in to how we play together. You know what I mean? He's gonna have the ball in his hand majority of the game, and I want to be somebody that can do that as well.
Sure,
but we play in a different style at Florida than Kentucky does. Kentucky allow him at his position to do that. We're guard driven right now. We have big men, but we're more point guard, shooting guard driven. He has a little more frame than some of those guys, and I think just the way Kentucky play the game would allow for him to have more touches and shoot the ball more than playing team basketball with Florida.
We're a blue blood now. Look, I thought we were blue blood before we won this one, but I think that that needs to be. We are in the conversation. We are 100% a part of it. I mean, I think we're in a class of our own.
Yeah,
just as a university, but
we ain't got to join them.
We're up there with the other basketball schools as well. So I love it. Let's
we made our own mark. We don't have to join them. They ain't got to call us nothing. We just gonna keep proving them wrong.
We the orange blood. You right?
Yeah.
Talk to him. Quick shout out again to Foco. We talked about it at the top of the hour. New code, boys and girls. We're working on something, a little deal where if you purchase something, you get a free Foco gift. So stay tuned for that.
Nice.
But right now, check out Foco. Continue to check them out. Use the link in the description. Use the code HighTopSports. Change the code. It's no longer HighTop15. It's HighTopSports. To get a percentage off all things except pre-orders, anything that's already been discounted, of course. But look, right now, I mean, we've got the NBA playoffs and NHL hockey. They dropped some great stuff. I wanted to pull up a sign. They showed an Oregon. I know we're not an Oregon fan. We got an Oregon Duck guy. A neon Oregon Duck sign. And I was like, where's the Florida one? That was sick. And I was like, if you make us a Florida one, those things will sell like hotcakes because the Oregon one was sick. I need to send it to the Duck and tell him to go get himself one because it would look good in his setup. But yeah, check out Foco. Use the link in the description and use the code HighTopSports. Let's talk about some more NIL drama because that's where we're at right now. We're in the off season and all things are being. This isn't necessarily Gator related.
Oh man,
this is wild, dude. It's wife swap is what we called it.
Yeah.
It was just funny. Last little thing before we shut her down, but Joey Aguilar, who transferred to UCLA from Arizona, Appalachian State, excuse me, and December 28th, 2024, goes to UCLA. He's their guy. Like he's coming in to be their guy. Then of course Nico gets confirmed yesterday or Sunday that he's going to UCLA. And that was kind of the conversation. Like they went and got Joey. So what's going to happen with Joey now? And then Joey's like, hey, I need a home team. Tennessee's like, hey, we need a quarterback. It's like, hey, you want to come play here? I mean, it's just
musical chairs with the quarterback.
it's comical. I mean, I don't get it. Wild to me. Look, Tennessee, I think, still in shambles. I mean, they're probably not happy with this move, but it's better than where they were. Were.
I don't. It's very weird. And then football, the locker room is built on camaraderie. I don't know how these teams are going to fare out this season with this type of movement, just swapping players. That's just too much for me. You know what I mean? Hey, you take my quarterback, we'll take your quarterback. What's the point of it all? Can they play? Can they play ball? And it like, what are the two style differences for you guys to be swapping like this? They're the same person. Why are we even going through this? You know what I mean? And of course,
I don't know if they're the same
down
person.
To money. You got
Joey was a 3-star quarterback coming in. He's a little bit higher rated 3-star quarterback in the transfer. He's not quite Nico, but
yeah,
that was a desperate move.
It's a money
desperate times
deal.
call for desperate measures.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, the guy's coming in June. He's gonna have 2 months to figure this offense out and get things rolling. Look, we say the Tennessee game is gonna be easy. Fortunately for Tennessee, it's gonna be at the end of the year this year. At Florida. It's gonna be a tough road for him to say the least.
Urban might have said it best. He said, you don't pay the guy, but when you got to come to Florida and play in that swamp without a quarterback, do you think it's the smartest move?
Yeah, he 100% kudos to you for kind of staying the ground, but come November when you're leaving Gainesville, it's like, should we have stood our ground?
Yeah, now you're swapping quarterbacks. Like, what are we doing? This is weird.
Leaving a lot of places. I think Tennessee's going to be wondering if they should have stood their ground or not, to say the least. We'll see. Look, you ask some people, they don't think Nico was the best thing since sliced bread. So we'll see how it all shapes up. This kid is a let's see, what year is he? He's only a sophomore, the same damn age. Maybe they did just swap for swap. Oh, no, he's crazy. A redshirt senior. So he's got a lot more experience. 6'3", 220. So he's played a lot more.
Okay.
So he played at Arizona, or he's been at Appalachian State. So he's got a lot more football underneath him. So maybe he comes in, he's maybe a little more efficient. Upside, I don't think is what Nico probably provided, but yeah, I mean it's wild. It's been fun to watch. Thank goodness it isn't us.
That's not us. Yeah, right. Exactly. That was my sense of it. As long as not us having that type of situation, because I like cohesive locker rooms, and when you're bringing in all these different people, especially at that position, I don't want Mertz. We did great getting the transfer in. I hope we don't ever have to do that again, where we don't develop a guy at the quarterback position where we need to go just swap for a quarterback. I hope we always have quarterbacks in the stable. Our evaluations are great, and we do what we need to do to where our quarterbacks are actually next up, not next brought in.
Quick, I was checking out the Twitter real quick. Top linebackers updated on 3 rankings. It's gonna be the first time in history. Isaiah Williams clocks in at the number 1 linebacker position.
Wow.
For on 3. Yeah. That's all. That's huge. Look, that one's going to be one I think that comes down to the wire. He had like an official visit at North Carolina, but didn't. It's been a wild one. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out.
So when is the spring portal closed?
25th, I believe, to 4 days. And here's the breaking news: Arkansas transfer quarterback Madden, Nico's brother, Amalev, is following his brother to Nico to UCLA.
Are you sure? Is that real?
That's from Hayes Fawcett 46 minutes ago. Yeah. So 2 quarterbacks now have committed to UCLA.
And you said they're brothers?
They're brothers. Yes, sir.
And they're going to play at the same school?
His brother. Yeah, correct. Same position.
It get weird about a second.
You can't really put a finger on it.
Wow. So how old is the other brother? What year is he in?
Let me see what Madden is. He's younger. I do know that. I remember when he came out last year. He was He had a lot of eyes looking at him. I want to say UCLA was in favor. He is, my friend. Be sure to smash the like button, boys. We're almost at 100 likes. Appreciate it if we could get there. Why is this stuff?
So what do UCLA say? Hey, will you give us a package deal?
He's a freshman. So he just enrolled in last year, or in December. So this is he's a true freshman. He hasn't even played a snap.
So they got a package deal.
So Arkansas just lost their basically their future.
That's weird. That's kind of cool though to go to the same school with your brother, younger.
You're seeing a lot of that too. You're seeing a lot of family deals happening.
Position. Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, look, that's got a whole family reunion going on, and you kind of UCLA might have turned a corner here with this. I mean, UCLA has kind of been in the back burner here, but this could be a move for them. There's money out there in California. I thought it was at USC. Maybe it's flowing down to UCLA a little bit.
They're probably going to start a podcast. I don't know if it's all about football.
Well, boys and girls, fantastic show. Pulling up on the hour mark. This flies by when you're having fun with the boys. A lot of great conversations, a lot of great NIL conversations, as it always is. Here's the week's lineup. Tomorrow will be an off day. Wednesday, of course, best day of the week. Waltez Clark's father will be joining us, obviously newly recruited freshman running back for the Florida Gators. His pops will be joining us on Wednesday. I believe that's confirmed. I spoke with Judd Davis. Judd's always great to bring on to bring us back some good old stories. We'll get him on here in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to try to work on something else too, boys. I'm not going to tell you just yet. We'll keep some secrets here if we can.
You already told us.
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's another one?
That's another one. Brandon Spikes.
Oh, man.
No, this is different. This is bigger. I think. Maybe. Okay. I don't know. Look,
Hey, guys, I found out when y'all find out, too, so.
That's why I like to get your reaction on camera. Thursday is the draft day, which we have our draft show spectacular with Cody the Professor and Cowboy Ty. We talked a little bit about it this morning. Their mock drafts were insanely different, which was awesome. So if you guys enjoy that kind of stuff, come hang out with us. We'll be chilling. What's up?
Who's the first gate off the board for you?
Oh. Triquez?
Is
that good?
I'm just asking.
I think Triquez. My final answer.
So you thinking like third
round?
What round?
I think 2. I think Triquez goes 2.
Okay,
I think he's turning some heads. Okay. I think he's turning some heads.
Yeah, that works.
Put him in a spot like that. Damn, Steven.
I just want to know.
y'all know what to do. Smash the like button. I miss any super chats? Hold on, let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Oh, my man, High Top Rogue, of course. $2. Year of the Gator. Year of the Gator, boys and girls. Absolutely. High Top Rope, boys. Show man some love. Y'all be good. Stay safe. Have some fun. Get yourself some sleep. Tomorrow, chill out. But, of course, Wednesday, the best day of the week. Smash the like button. Subscribe. I'll see you boys in the next one. Stephen Harris. Sean Walker.
Go Gators, baby.
Peace and love, baby.